Thank you guys all so much for tuning back in for the start of a new week, and let's get right into another recap here. So if you guys saw from looking at the thumbnail today, it was fortunately another green day. It was a green start to the week, and yeah, very fortunate for that, very blessed for that. And as far as day trading went, I only traded SQQQ and TQQQ again, and here are all my filled orders so you guys can see. Obviously there's a lot, so feel free to pause the video on your own, and let me get that out the way for you so you can see that. So yeah, if you guys will notice, I only traded SQQQ and TQQQ on the day, and as far as how that went, I was up $44 on SQs and I was up $8 on TQs. So our account was still red on the day. If you guys will notice, we were down $50, and it was because of our other swing trades. So yeah, that was unfortunate, but yeah, I was still able to make some money back from the loss. So as far as my strategy goes, I want to walk through with you guys kind of how today went and how I was able to make money. And yeah, let's just start right around here, which is the market open. So just to remind you guys, right around here, it's the timestamp. That's where I always check the time. So right around here, you'll notice that that is when the market opened up here. This is the NASDAQ I'm looking at, and it opened up at 6:30 in the morning, right around this area. So just from looking at the chart, right, you guys will obviously notice that it was a very bearish day for the market. And what do I mean by that? When I say bearish, I mean that it was just a clearly downtrending day today, right? It was just making lower highs and lower lows, right? The market was basically just selling off all day. And I want to talk to you guys about how I was able to kind of capitalize on it, because I know a lot of people may struggle with when the market really pulls on back this significantly, and the reason for that would be because a lot of you might be thinking that, let's say for example right around here, that the market has bounced here before and it's looking a little more oversold, so you guys might just be waiting for that TQ's play that never ends up coming, right? You keep thinking the market's too oversold, only for it to continuously keep falling. So one thing I want you guys to take note of is how important it is to look at the bigger time frame. So if you guys saw the NASDAQ on the 180 day, you'll notice that there was definitely the potential for the NASDAQ to end up having this pretty big drop. And the reason for that was because the NASDAQ, looking at it on the bigger time frame, it has been trending recently down, and it's been using this blue EMA line here kind of as a resistance. So anytime it has kind of approached it, it has continuously just been falling for lower lows and lower highs. And today, leading into the market open, the market was kind of testing it a bit, only for it to confirm this pattern and it to start selling off, right? Trying to make these lower lows and lower highs again. And it wasn't until kind of it broke this area, it bounced that before, where I thought there could have been a big drop, which did end up happening, right? This is still a pretty significant drop. And yeah, I just want to go ahead and show you guys kind of one thing in specific me and my brother have been doing that's been working really well, and that is kind of using these different candlesticks to really tell us basically when to be fully averaged in. So what do I mean by that? I'm going to go ahead and show you guys an example. Let's say kind of right around here, this was right around 15 minutes after the market opened up, when I saw that the market wanted to continuously keep trending below this blue line here, right, this blue EMA line here, and start to sell off, right? It did try and pop here, but ultimately bounced off there, right, and wanted to sell off. I would probably be in with like a quarter around here for SQQQ, thinking that the market is going to keep falling, right? And the reason I'm only in with a quarter here is because it could easily, as it starts falling, just pick back up again, right? It did have a nice green candle right before it, so there could be some little buying pressure for kind of these higher lows to form, right? So that's why I'm only in with a quarter initially once it starts falling. And it's not until I see that it really breaks a new low and the candle really wants to keep kind of forming this drop that I then decide to average in the whole rest of my position. I'll make sure to add the other 3 quarters in at a place like this, and if I really zoom in for you, me and my brother will basically ride this area fully averaged in, and we will offload shares once we get a big drop. So once we, let's say, bought in because we saw it was breaking below this support, we'd buy in aggressively, and with this nice drop, we would take off a lot of shares here in case there is a bounce. So that way we basically secure our profits for a nice candle, and anytime it pushes back, we're only in with a quarter of our position, or we could have sold everything. And that way, if it does want to keep pulling back on, we would cut it once it pushes above a previous high of a candle, right? So if this candle right here were to push above this kind of previous candle were formed here, I would really want to be out of all my position thinking it could start pushing up. But it's not until we see that that we're going to just continuously keep going with SQQQ in the direction on a day. So if we saw that it didn't want to keep going, right, basically, so right around here, if we offloaded our shares and it did bounce a little, it didn't end up going past this other previous candle it formed. So once it starts falling again, I would average in fully again and basically keep following that trend until I see a pattern where the new candle that forms actually will go above a previous candle. If you notice, every time it fails to do that, it just keeps falling further and further, right? This candle here couldn't get above this previous candle it formed here. And it will just keep falling and falling and falling until it finally does, right? With these green candles here, and specifically this one right here, it was able to kind of cross these whole areas and this area right around here. And that was a sign for me that maybe it could be changing direction, right? So that is something new me and my brother have been doing. We're basically adding into our position aggressively when we think there could be a little breakout, and we're quickly selling the shares to manage that risk. So if it does pull on back, we're barely losing any profit. So that's what I wanted to leave you guys on with for the video. Thank you guys all so much for tuning back in. I really hope you can use a tool like that me and my brother have been trying, a little strategy. And yeah, I hope you guys saw a lot of value in that. Thank you guys all so much and have a great day.